Welcome to Ladies of Another View on Beck. I am Mary, and I am joined today by Donna and Jan. It is a happy day. It's Monday. We had some rain over the weekend. Everybody's doing well, but we are in a storm watch right now. So fingers crossed we don't get the hail that some of the communities around here, I guess Center got some pretty good size hail just an hour ago or so. But
so if you hear some thunks, you know what's going on.
Right?
I even got a ride here because my husband's like, I'll bring you there.
Right.
Just like, don't want to leave the car outside.
Right. So anyway, that's North Dakota weather. I tell you, stick around because it changes on a daily basis. I didn't know whether to wear a winter parka because it was so cold this weekend, or a tank top because the weather was really nice today. But let's get to our topics today. We're going to talk a little bit about Afghanistan, and then later we're going to have a guest join us. She's been with us before. It's Lori Schlosser. If you remember, she had written an obituary regarding her dad, Shorty, that kind of made headlines basically because of how he died alone in a nursing home. But this time she's going to talk about what's going on in the medical facilities around here and all of the dilemmas that everyone's facing with having to get the COVID shot. But we're going to talk about that, and then we also have some other interesting news, and then we'll leave you with a lighter side. But first, let's talk about Afghanistan. I mean, this is heartbreaking. The American public is just absolutely going crazy because of everything that's going on over there, and it's a world crisis is what's going on. But last week we had talked a little bit about the dollar figure of the equipment, the not medical, but the military equipment. I go from medical to military. The military equipment and the money and the cash that was left over there. So we couldn't verify the sources. We wanted to say 85 billion, but we didn't have that source available, but I found it over the weekend. Take a look at this. All right, these are some of the things that were left behind. Over 22,000 Humvees, 8,000 trucks, 634, I can't read the word, but it's a big military vehicle. Just all kinds of weapons and helicopters. 33 of the, oh gosh, I can't read it from here. Anyway, but you guys can see it there, just get a close-up. But I had a video that I wanted to show you. Let's take a look.
Job there was as a foreign military sales officer. So I was on the front lines of acquiring the equipment that the Americans provided and turned over to the Afghan army and the Afghan police. I'm going to read to you what is so painful for me and so many other Afghan veterans who served in that capacity and others who served as a part of the train, advise, and assist, equip effort in helping the Afghans. We now know that due to the negligence of this administration, the Taliban now has access to over $85 billion worth of American military equipment. That includes 75,000 vehicles, over 200 airplanes and helicopters, over 600,000 small arms and light weapons. The Taliban now has more Black Hawk helicopters than 85% of the countries in the world. But they don't just have weapons. They also have night vision goggles, body armor, medical supplies, and unbelievably, unfathomable to me and so many others, is that the Taliban now has biometric devices, which have the fingerprints, eye scans, and the biographical information of the Afghans who helped us over the last 20 years. And here's what we just learned again in the briefing that we just walked out of, is this administration still has no plan to get this military equipment or these supplies back.
Frustrating.
Yeah, not even. I mean, it goes beyond that, I think. These people that had their bio information stolen, these people they gave up lots for us, for our country. It wasn't even for their country as much. I'm sure some of it was some self-serving for their surrounding areas, their families and the like. But those people, they put their lives on the line for us, and we just left it all for them. And it's not even so much that the Taliban has everything, but the Taliban now can have it on the market to sell to ISIS, to any of the other
to Russia, to China, to anyone.
Yes, and our technology as well. Not that, most of the technology isn't out there everywhere, but that one last thing that you couldn't figure out, and now they have it. I mean, they have as many Blackhawks as, and I think we're one of 5 large countries that have stuff like that, and now they're right up there with us.
Right.
That can't be right.
It's just absolutely frustrating. And then I've seen videos where there's been pallets of cash left behind, stacks and stacks of $100 bills. Who does that?
Right.
Well,
That was to help pay the people.
yes.
And that's, yeah, so who's paying them? Who's getting that money? And then did you see the picture of the 3 Taliban people? They're like fully equipped in all this garb, and they have their flag holding it.
Well, let me show you what they were trying to do is recreate the picture
Right.
of the Marines, and I actually have that as well.
Oh,
so
yes,
they are
there it is.
in American fatigues, or their dress wear, and they're showing off its new, like they're putting up the Taliban flag, pretty much shoving it in the face of the American public. They're recreating when the Marines were on top of the hill. And it's just absolutely infuriating how we're just being mocked around the world because of what Biden has done. And he's going to try to blame Trump for all of this, and it's not Trump's fault. I mean, he had so many ways how we were going to try to get out of Afghanistan, but it wasn't this way. It was to get the people out first. It was. And
The plans were in place, but they were never executed. So, you know, we can still, if you're not a Trumper, you can still say, well, Trump should have done this or Trump should have done that. Well, all of the Americans should have done things too. We should have all stood up and said, you know, 20 years is long enough. Let's go home. Let's set up a plan. We didn't push for it. We're letting our government do it, everything. We're letting our government run our lives because we don't stand up.
very frustrating. I just can't imagine, you know, they say now they're the 26th strongest military in the world.
That's
But it's
the
all
number I
based
was
on our,
looking
it's
for.
our equipment. We gave that to them.
We left it, yeah.
We left it for them.
So think of how many people in North Dakota have served in Afghanistan.
Yes.
I know lots of
slap in the
people that have
face.
been there, and how must they feel or know what's happening there.
Right.
Must
They
be
feel
really
just like the
scary.
Vietnam vets felt when everything got just shut down all of a sudden and they got brought home. And then the public went, yeah, we don't care. That's pretty sad.
It is. You know, I just wanted to show something heartwarming on one side. It's still frustrating, but the town of Bismarck, or the towns of Bismarck and Mandan, had done a very nice gesture over the weekend. They went ahead and set a table for the 13 missing military people. Now, this is at the Blarney Stone, but I know that many of the downtown shops did it, and A&B Pizza did it, and it's, you know,
It was
it's
actually nationwide.
Yes, and it's a small gesture, but it's such heartfelt gesture for all these people that these 13 will never be home. Just think of the devastation with their families.
And this makes it real. You know, when you see something like that, it makes you think about it. It doesn't let you put it in the back of your mind and think, oh, what am I going to make for supper? You see it and you take stock in it, and it hits your heart.
It really does. It really does. So, you know, we're always going to have more to talk about Afghanistan. It is nothing that's going away anytime soon. And it's every hour it seems like there's new information to share. But just know that we will share that information with you right here. But for now, we're going to take a quick break. And after the break, we're going to visit with Lori Schlosser, and she's going to give us some information what she's up against at Stanford. That's right after this on Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
I'm Rick Becker from No Apologies. Welcome to your after hours oasis of sanity. Watch us weeknights at 9 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Hi, I'm Dennis Haugen, along with my sons Andy and Mike, and we're showing our support for wind energy in North Dakota.
Wind energy has provided farmers like us with a steady stream of income that's not tied to the weather like crops and cattle are.
Another bonus is that wind farm owners are required to maintain the roads leading up to the turbines. Because of that, oftentimes these roads are the best in the county. Wind energy is good for landowners, it's good for the land, it's good for our economy, and it's good for North Dakota.
Hey everybody, I'm Doug Billings, your host of The Right Side with Doug Billings on Beck News. We bring you high-profile guests, ladies and gentlemen, exclusive guests. Now, you're not going to see these guests in most of the mainstream media outlets. Another thing that I do here is give guests a platform to speak freely. You're not going to see me censor anybody. Please join us, won't you? Weeknights right here on Beck TV and online at beck.news. Cheers.
Pub 21, your one stop for fun, drinks, and food. Our spacious facility provides COVID-safe fun for you and all your friends. With nightly bingo and specials, you can be sure there's something to do for everyone. If you're staying in for the night, we've got you covered just across the way with Pub 21 Liquor. We have a wide variety of options, from wine to whiskey and everything in between. Stop in today at 1014 South 12th Street in Bismarck to see what all the buzz is about. You won't be disappointed.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. We are joined by Lori Schlosser, and Lori has been with us a couple other times. So welcome to the show today, Lori. Thank you. You're welcome. So Lori works in the healthcare industry, and as we know, Sanford as well as St. A's or CHI, and a lot of the various clinics around the state, and not just the state. I also have a friend out in Virginia. He's a doctor, and his wife is a nurse practitioner. They've all been given the ultimatum: either take the COVID jab or you're done here. And what's so crazy is all of these people in the healthcare industry, they've already worked through the first round of COVID for the last year and a half, and now they're being asked to either take the jab or you don't have a job here anymore.
Or hit the road.
Or hit the road, exactly. So I guess that was your dilemma that you're in right now. Is that right, Lori?
It is.
It is. Okay, so Lori did send me a video over the weekend, and that's why we decided to have her on as a guest. Take a look at this.
As people die from complications, health issues due to that event. That day will never be forgotten. There are other, even more deadly events that have occurred here in the United States, some notables being the 1906 San Francisco earthquake that killed over 3,000, the 1936 North American heat wave killed 5,000 people, and of course the 1900 Galveston hurricane. That cyclone killed anywhere between 6,000 and 12,000 people and is recorded as being the most deadly event in the United States until now. This so-called FDA-approved vaccine has recorded more deaths than any of these horrific tragedies, and it's not even talked about. We aren't allowed to mention that. And if you do, you could be named on the DHS terror watch list. Let that sink in. Karen Kingston is a former employee of Pfizer. She spent decades researching and marketing pharmaceuticals. She's a biotech analyst, and she joins us now. Karen, thank you so much for being here. First of all, Dr. Malone appeared on the War Room with Steve Bannon. He said that these things are not approved. Dr. Sherry Tenpenny has alluded to the same. Dr. Zelenko.
Interesting. So we have different clips of that video, and Karen works. She's a whistleblower for Pfizer. And so let's hop into the next clip of Karen.
Verbatim, as soon as possible, but no later than 14 days from the date of this letter, please submit the final content of labeling in structured product labeling format via the FDA automatic drug registration and listing system as described below. Content of labeling must be identical to the package insert submitted on August 21st, 2021. Let me keep reading though.
All right, so we have a couple different videos. This isn't the exact one that we were talking about over the weekend, but why don't you tell us the dilemma that you're up against, Lori?
Well, as employees, we have until the 1st of November to get our vaccinations, get an exemption, or we're considered non-compliant, and we will be let go.
So are they going to fire you, or are they calling it voluntary resignation?
I don't know exactly what they're calling it, but we will be considered non-compliant, so basically we're choosing. So there will be no unemployment.
Yeah.
I was going to ask that next.
And so that's how they get it past the loophole, because by being non-compliant, we're choosing to terminate ourselves, I guess, is how they look at it.
Wow.
So
what happens to those people that have a pension or that have any benefits? That all goes away?
Well, if you're not employed, you have no benefits. So I'm not sure, you know, and I haven't looked past that part of it. I am going to be submitting a religious exemption, and have no idea what that'll look like. But what prompted this for me is those of us that do not want to be vaccinated, that feel it's our bodies, it's our choice, are protesting. And I ran into a young gal that just, my conversation with her would not leave me. And she said, I have a gut check about this. And she said, there's been a period in my life where I ignored that, and it got me in trouble. And she said, I will not ignore it again. And she said, if I get this vaccine, I will hate myself. And I know exactly what she's talking about. You know, and it's the reason I'm choosing to apply for a religious exemption. You know, everything in my life, I pray about. You ask for guidance from the Holy Spirit, and you pray for discernment. You know, God speaks quietly sometimes. Yes. And there are situations we can be flying through life and ignore. And this young gal just kept coming back to me. I'm at a point in my life where, should I choose, I get to retire. I can. And I am married to a wonderful man who has given me, you know, the choice to either fight this or let go and come home. And I get to do that, but it just bothered me that this young gal doesn't get a choice to make that decision. She can't. She's got a young child. She's got benefits she needs to have, and you know, and yet she's forced to make these decisions. And you know, it's hard to stand up. And that's one of the reasons that, you know, boy, I wrestled with this over the weekend. And that kept coming back to me is, you know, we have to stand up. We have to be heard. And you know, sometimes, you know, we think if we do nothing, it's okay. But someday I will stand before my God and I will answer for the times I was silent and I shouldn't have been. And, you know, I feel like because I'm in this position, I need to speak out for the people that are scared. This comes with ramifications. Right. You know, I will answer. We have friends that'll probably shun me. I know we have family that doesn't agree with my decision. But at the end of the day, I have 8 grandbabies that someday I want them to know their grandma stood up and was heard and had an opinion, even if it wasn't popular. And what blows my mind is, as Americans, people, whether you agree with my decision or not, you need to stand up and fight for the right to have a choice. You know, I said this in my dad's obit. This, you know, This may not affect you right now, but it's going to affect you. And here I sit, now defending my right to choose whether or not to be vaccinated with something that I don't need. I have worked through this entire pandemic. I have never been sick. To my knowledge, I've never transmitted anything to anybody else. My husband had COVID, which we only found out because we donate blood and he has antibodies. We did not even know he was sick. So why would I go take a vaccine that has horrific side effects that they're never going to protect me from and subject myself to that when I don't need to? 99.9 survival rate. Come on, people, wake up. And like I said, whether you agree with me about the vaccine or not, what are they coming for next?
Right.
And if we don't stand up and say no, what are they going to have to do to you to get you to fight and say no?
Right. Oh,
Next
gosh.
will be all the teachers. Or,
Yes.
Right. That's
And
where
it's
we're
coming.
going. Education, medical.
Yes, and then it'll be your kids.
Yep.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to come right back after this on Ladies of Another View. I'm Beck, because there's so much more to talk about.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
At Beck Communications, we've been planning for your future. Over the past decade, we've placed nearly 200,000 miles of dedicated fiber optics in the ground. Enough fiber optic strands to circle the world 8 times. Taking no shortcuts, we connected every home and business in our service area with dedicated fiber optics. It's your personal, unrestricted, unthrottled connection to the world. Best of all, this dedicated fiber means you do not share your connection. We call this intimate dedicated connection Beck Fiber.
Ever been in a cave before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the car!
How will we?
The car! Your offer's been accepted. Ever bought a house before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the closing.
But how will we?
The closing!
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing, because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more.
Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-219-1467.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm coming to you with one of the most important commercials that I've ever done. All of you know what MyPillow and myself have gone through in the last 8 months in my efforts to bring the truth forward. Well, now you can help in a couple ways. First, get everyone you know to go to my new media platform, frankspeech.com. There you'll find all the footage from my cyber symposium and many other important broadcasts. Also, I am personally doing a new daily live show to get the truth out. It's at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. Secondly, I'm offering some of the best prices ever on MyPillow products, but they're only available on frankspeech.com. Go to frankspeech.com now and use the promo code on your screen or call the 1-800 number below to receive these exclusive MyPillow offers. Thank you and God bless.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. We are joined with Lori Schlosser today, and we were talking about the dilemma that a lot of these employees are in the medical industry across the nation, across the world for that matter. But we had a video. It was Karen Kingston. She is a former Pfizer employee. She's a whistleblower, basically, and she discussed what is actually in the vaccine that they're hiding from you, and it's called graphene oxide. Graphene oxide is a toxin and doesn't belong in our bodies, and basically what it does is it can create a positive charge in your body so that eventually you, it sounds far-fetched, but you know that the technology is there, that they can actually transmit stuff through your body with all the 5G that's coming out, with everything. There's just so much more. I wish I had the video, but I'll get it for you again later in the week. You really need to see it. But it's the graphene oxide. You won't find it on the label, and that's what everybody says. Well, I looked it up. It's not on the label. It's not on the label because it's a trade secret. And what's his name?
Bill Gates?
Bill Gates, yes. He said that there are trade secrets that we won't be able to tell you what they are. But as a Pfizer employee, she knew what it was. She pulled up all the information, and it's graphene oxide.
She even mentioned Elon Musk, too, that has something to do with what's going on, too. And I think that's very interesting. He's a very futuristic person, and that's not always good. There's some things we need to have, but there's some things that we don't need to have in our bodies. I got to tell you, on the way I went to Newtown on Saturday, and we're driving along, and I said to my friend, I said, do you ever get like a little feeling in your head? It's like a little buzz or something? And she goes, well, yeah, sometimes. I said, that's weird. It just started happening just 2 seconds ago as we're going over the hill. And guess what we saw?
5G tower.
You're
in the
kidding.
middle of nowhere between Kildare and going to Newtown, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
There aren't very many that are turned on in North Dakota yet. There are some communities where there's quite a few. But even if this didn't have graphene oxide, the fact that there are employers that are saying no matter what's in it, you have to stick it in your body and you have to do that in order to work here. That's bullying, that's coercion, that's blackmail, it's all of the above. We were visiting during the break. There are people that are in nursing school right now, they're ready to graduate and they don't want the vaccine. And now they're looking at, what did I just spend my years on in education for if I don't have access to it? Some people are losing their jobs, some people are losing their futures. They aren't having a choice at all. And when you look at any vaccine, it's always where there is risk, there must be choice. And that's the only thing that people are trying to get across here, is that if we don't have a say on what's put in, injected, you know, it's no different than Jonestown Massacre, where they said, here, drink this. And everybody had to sip the Kool-Aid. That's where that phrase came from. You're drinking the Kool-Aid for whatever issue it is, because all these people, they followed, they got in line, and that's why they call them sheep. Sheep follow the one in front, and they all drank the Kool-Aid, and they all died. They all died. And remember, all the ferrets died. All the ferrets that they used for testing with these type of gene therapy injections, they all died.
And it was also in that video about, they said that they did some testing with this graphene oxide, or with the vaccine. 80% of the rats died that day, and the rest were dead by the end of the week. And those were pregnant mice, or pregnant mice or rats. But, and so I do know someone who was pregnant and got the vaccine, and I'm just not going to say any more about that. It's devastating. Devastating.
I think we trust the vaccine. We think, because...
Well, it's not a vaccine.
Right.
We need to get that straight. It is not a vaccine. Will eliminate a disease. This is not a vaccine.
Well,
they even
actually,
tell you.
a vaccine doesn't eliminate anything, though. A vaccine is supposed to give you a portion of the live virus so minute that your body creates antibodies to fight it off when you do get the infection. This has none of that. Right. These are not live virus vaccines. And what is really weird is if you look at Wikipedia a year and a half ago, the definition of a vaccine says one thing, and if you look at Wikipedia today, they have changed it. So it used to be that you got an injection that had a small portion of that live virus, and then that gave your body a chance to build up an immunity against it.
And so you wouldn't get that disease.
Correct.
Yes.
But there isn't anything on the planet that has ever been cured by a vaccine. Not one. Everybody always says, oh yeah, polio was eradicated by a vaccine. I can call bull on that one. I know that it wasn't. Polio was almost gone before the vaccine even came out.
Right. And it's a
Sorry.
Oh, but Lori, so as far as the employees over there, a lot of times we've heard on different reports that, 80% are already vaccinated. But then when you talk to the people, they say, no, maybe 30 or 40% are actually vaccinated. What say you?
And I'll be honest, I have my own little office, and I haven't discussed it with a lot of people because I know that my opinion is not popular, and with a lot of the people in my clinic. Now, I know that other areas there are, like I said, you get out to the protest, you see everybody else who's going through this too, and has that, I am not doing this. But, I honestly cannot say. I mean,
because it's kind of top secret. People don't want to talk about it, good or bad. It's like they know that people are going to hate them one way or another, whether you're vaccinated or not. It's like they're either for you or against you. And it's like, okay, so you didn't get vaccinated, I want nothing to do with you. Oh, you did get vaccinated. Well, then the ones that didn't get vaccinated want nothing to do with them. So it really is causing quite the division. But go ahead.
And one of the things that amazes me is that, right now, everybody's in a mask, whether you're vaccinated or not. If this thing's so effective, why? And the other thing that amazes me is we had friends that called to invite us down to visit, and then straight out said, are you vaccinated? And the invitation was redacted.
Oh my goodness.
And it's like, if you are so confident that this works, then what do you care if I am or not?
Mm-hmm. Right. There's a host on our show whose family members will not speak to her, and she's not allowed to see the grandchildren because she's not vaccinated.
It's happening in my family as well.
Oh, and I haven't had that problem, maybe. I don't know why. Except for, I did this weekend with some other friends. I haven't seen her, but I have friends that have been and aren't, and family members that are and aren't. And we haven't, said, okay, I'm not going to be with you. I was going to go to this friend's cabin, and she said, sorry if you're not vaccinated, and I hope you don't get sick. I'm like, oh, that was really nice of you.
Wow.
But it's I think just around here, like you said, when you start talking to other people, I must know 70% of the people that aren't.
Right.
And once you start talking about it, they're like, oh, I didn't know you felt that way.
But then, too, there are people that are fearful of shedding. And, I have family members that have been around a large group of vaccinated people, and menstrual cycles are changing, and things are going weird. And people that shouldn't be having any issues are having them. So if all of these things are happening in our world and we aren't vaccinated, it's got to be in the bigger circle.
And Lori, I think you mentioned something about that. People that have had it, they said that, like she said, I'll hate myself. Yeah. So is that a feeling that people are having, and then they turn that hate to other people, which is really an interesting other thought.
Well, and don't you think this is part of the plan?
Yeah. I do.
Very
I tell you
likely.
what, we're going to take a quick break because we have so much more to talk about. We'll be right back after this on Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Since opening in Hebron in 1940, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your hometown bank. Our mission has been to provide modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. We've grown with the communities we serve through year-round events, countless sponsorships, and nearly 7,000 hours of volunteering each year. Learn more about our 80-year history at dakotacommunitybank.com.
Hop in the rig and go down the road with me. We'll cover local and national stories that impact you. What happens with national debt? Does anybody even care anymore? Do you think Governor Burgum truly understands the legislative process?
I think he's got a better understanding now than he did 2 years ago.
Why in the world are we having a conversation about being anti-vaccination. Down the Road with Joel Heitkamp weekdays at 5:30 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Jeez, what a mess. Look at that. There's roof stuff everywhere. It's so embarrassing. Ruins the neighborhood. Come on, humans. Let's get this fixed.
Don't let your roof go to the dogs. Call America's Best Contractors for your free estimate.
Need a new woof?
After checking with the rest, go with the best. America's Best Contractors. 258-2412. Online at americasbestcontractorsincorporated.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm going to pass the savings directly on to you. Go to MyPillow.com right now to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. For example, you can get my premium MyPillows regularly $69.98, now just $29.98, the lowest price ever.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. We're visiting with Lori Schlosser here in the studio, and we do thank you for coming. We know it's hard for you to speak up and to speak out because you worry about your own job. But by you speaking out, it gives strength, excuse me, it gives strength to others that are afraid to stand up and speak out. So let's just talk a little bit more about well, first of all, you had mentioned you're in an office by yourself? Or do you touch people? Are you with people all day?
Oh, yes, all day, but I work in a department by myself. But yes, I have taken care of people since this started with nothing but a surgical mask and eye shield.
Okay, all right. Now, Donna, you had mentioned that you have a friend that has some severe side effects. Tell us about that.
Yeah, and it's, she was having some health issues, and so that she was encouraged to get the vax, or whatever you want to call it.
The jab.
The jab. And then she started having, her eyes were dry. She said she can't see to read now or to do any quilting work or anything. And so she said the doctor said she has Bell palsy. And she said it was after she had the jab. And she didn't have any of those symptoms before. And I said, you need to report it. You need to let somebody know. But what I looked up and what we looked up is that they are now under, it said COVID-19 symptoms is Bell palsy if you have a COVID-19. And here now it's showing that it's also a side effect of the jab. So that's kind of interesting that it's on both sides there.
Wow.
And a lot of people who didn't have it got it after they got the vaccination. So it's kind of hard to tell what's causing, you know, the chicken and the egg and the whole thing here. But it is causing a lot of controversy everywhere because families are divided, businesses are divided. You know, I've gone to a couple of these protests or educational demonstrations where a lot of the medical field have been out on the streets, and you know, a lot of people that have already gotten the vaccine are at the protests. They're saying, please come and join us if you think that each person should have their own choice. Yes. I got vaccinated, and I think that you should get to choose to get yours, or you should choose whether or not to get yours. They're just saying they don't think that everybody should be forced, coerced, or mandated to get it. I think that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be divided in the workplace.
And again, you know, I work along people that I have political differences. I have spiritual differences. I mean, you don't have to agree. That is the beauty of our country. This is what our forefathers had in mind, is our ability to choose. You know, people went to war and gave up their lives for these rights. You know, I stand at games and watch the national anthem played. You have the right to not stand. It makes me sick, but you have that right. And that is what being an American citizen gives us. And people, if you do not want life as we know it to go, we need to stand up for that right. We don't have to agree. That's what I wish people would realize is quit letting them divide us and stand up as a country for our right to choose.
It's good to be able to have those discussions
Yes.
with people, to be able to talk about it. And I think of the, you know, when they say you have a bundle of sticks, you can't break them, but if you separate them and put them into separate little piles, you could take them and break them one at a time. And that's what was happening, but now we're starting to say, no, we need to bring us back together again. And be
That's a great
strong
analogy.
together.
That's a excellent.
And you know, the other one from history is if we don't all hang together, we will surely hang separately.
Right, right. Wow. So you guys mentioned that there have been some educational demonstrations, shall we say. Some call it a protest, but we prefer to call it an educational demonstration. When and where are these?
Mondays at 4:30 to 6:30. You can come before, you can stay later. That's on the corner of 9th and Broadway here in Bismarck in front of CHI St. Alexius. And on Thursdays at the same time, 4:30 to 6:30 on the corner of 7th and Rosser outside of Sanford.
So speaking of Sanford, I bet a lot of you don't know this, but did you know, well, first of all, Sanford is in what, 11 states and 40 different countries for healthcare?
I didn't know it was in that many countries.
Yes. It's either 40 or 20. I better make sure I have my facts straight. But I thought it was 40. But I'll make sure that I have that.
Even if it was 10, it's a lot.
It's a lot, right?
Canada.
But Denny Sanford is from South Dakota. He started out as a banker and he got into the healthcare business. And he is under investigation for child pornography. This is the man that is telling you, you need to be vaccinated. Now, he has not stood up and said, he hasn't denied it, right? And everyone's kind of pushing it under the rug. Let's bring up that photo of Denny so you know what he looks like. South Dakota court may unseal investigation of billionaire Sanford. What they're trying to do is hide the information, and he wants to keep it sealed. So like if any one of us had any, something that we did, you know darn well it wouldn't be sealed, right?
Yeah.
This billionaire gets to have his stuff sealed, but it looks like it's going to be unsealed, which is great. Okay, so they say, oh, there's nothing to see here, folks, nothing to see here. But Attorney General Jason Ravensborg determined there was sufficient evidence to move forward toward prosecuting Sanford, but passed the case to the U.S. Department of Justice because it spanned to Arizona, California, and Nebraska, according to the sources. So this is Sanford, mind you. Sanford, the health industry that is trying to make you get vaccinated, is under investigation for child pornography.
Hard to connect those two, but it does go to show judgment and value, and the value of a human life. Even if it isn't true, if he's associated with others that are, it's the company you keep sometimes.
How many of you guys are wondering, did he get the vaccination? People that are asking or telling people they need to do it, are they getting it themselves?
Well, if you are a member if you're a member of the federal government, the White House staff is not required to get it. The FDA employees are not required to get it. All of the CDC, none of them are required to get it.
Are you serious? I mean,
you can look it up. All of the
Wow.
alphabets in your government that are telling you that you need to have it do not have it as a requirement of employment. Look it up.
And yet our U.S. military
is being forced.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's one of the, I can't say that's the saddest. It's one of the saddest. I think the healthcare and the teachers and the military, you know, and I guess it's all of us, but if you break it down to the ones that are going to take care of the rest of us are not here to do so because they were forced to do something that they couldn't and became ill or died from it. And check out VAERS. And when we say VAERS, it's VAERS. It's the Vaccine Adverse Effects Reporting System. If you look at the numbers on there and what people are reporting and realize that it's only around 1% of people that usually report to VAERS, because if you have Bell's palsy, it's not like you're going to go contact a national outfit to say, hey, this side of my face is kind of numb and droopy,
well, they're
and my
telling
eye
you,
is
too,
dry.
It's a coincidence. It's a coincidence.
Well, that's my point. You know, most of us don't report it. So even if it's, you know, only 10% instead of the 1%, the numbers are still staggering on how many people would be affected.
And a 99.9%
survival rate.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times we can say that. You know, that's the other part. You know, they say that the vaccination will lessen the symptoms. My husband had none. Can you get any less than that? I mean, come on. Do your research, people.
Yeah.
You know? And should you have a reaction, there's no one to go after this.
Right. They're exempt.
Because they're exempt. They're protected.
Wow.
But we're not.
But we're not. Wow. There's so much more to talk about, but we're going to have to leave it right where we're at for now. But you can bet it's not going away. But we'll be right back after this on Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Respect, innovation, trust, and excellence. These core values can be seen in every building built by Straightway Construction. In the community for over 15 years, Straightway Construction has become the premier construction company for commercial projects. From dirt to design and framing to finish, Straightway Construction is your #1 choice. You won't have to look far to find a project that has that Straightway touch. Call them today or go online to straightwayconstruction.com and let them make your vision a reality.
Deciding how to promote your business can be hard. Visit the professionals at Dakota Promotions and Printing and let them help you through your struggle. Dakota Promotions provides promotional items and apparel from corporate gifts to team shirts and everything in between. With quick turnaround times and friendly service, they are your best choice. And best yet, you're shopping local. Visit them online at dakotapromo.com or stop in their showroom at 320 West Main in Mandan. Dakota Promotions, delivering promotions just for you.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. When you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Every great pizza has a secret. At New York To Go, that secret lies in our perfectly recreated New York water, the key ingredient to making our signature New York-style pizza. We also feature gyros, with the region's only gyro meat spit, plus Nathan's hot dogs, calzones, and our delicious jumbo buffalo wings. Try a 14-inch or our special giant 20-inch pizza tonight. You gotta know how to pull them if you want to hold them. New York To Go, we deliver for you.
40 years ago, Aero Service Team started with one truck and lots of hard work.
Times may have changed, but the hard work that we put in to get your lives back in order after fire, water, and disaster hasn't.
Over the years, we've seen so many families lose their belongings due to water and fire damage. Restoring homes back to the original state has made every hour of hard work well worth it.
Thank you for trusting our family with yours.
When disaster strikes, you only have to make one call. Aero Service Team does it all.
I'm Rick Becker from No Apologies. Welcome to your after-hours oasis of sanity. How can these people not see that they're just clowns?
We help simplify and educate you on things going on in the legislature and around the country.
Asking the hard-hitting questions.
But also having
Lee Stack and Sid and Marty Croft stuff, and we've talked about that sometimes. It's bad.
Watch us weeknights at 9 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on Beck. This is where we kind of go into our lighter side, and Lori decided to stick around with us. But first, I need to clarify something. So Denny Sanford does not own Sanford Medical Clinics. However, he is the largest donor to the Sanford Health Systems, and he's a billionaire. And so with him making these huge donations, they have named the healthcare after him. So, and the point being,
but still, if money talks in those situations where somebody brings up something against you and you say, keep it quiet, it shouldn't happen.
Yeah, and I even had heard from different employees right here in the Bismarck area that when this did come about, they were told, don't say anything, it's a non-issue, it's all fake, it's all lies. But yet, he hasn't stepped up to deny it, and he hasn't, they're still trying to brush it under the table, and they don't want the investigation to be unsealed. Well, if it wasn't true, why would you want to hide the truth, right?
Amen.
Amen. So with that being said, we're going to jump into our lighter side because we don't want to leave you crabby today. Take a look at this.
Cindy Santos loves substitute teaching. It has a flexible schedule, and she's got a husband and boys. It works perfect for her. That first day of school in eastern Pennsylvania, she had no idea that she was going to be given a kindergarten class for the one day in the entire year. When she got to school, the school nurse took her aside, said, there's a special little girl in your class. She's on dialysis 10 hours a day. Her name is Caitlin, and she's on standby for a kidney donor. Well, in the classroom, Cindy just fell in love with Caitlin right away, those engaging eyes and that sweet smile. About a week later, she was on her Facebook page, and she doesn't know how this happened, but all of a sudden something popped up that said, Caitlin's Kidney Journey. She clicked on. And there the parents explained what Caitlin needed for a donor. Well, first there was the blood type, and Cindy said, hey, we're the same blood type. I could be a donor. And looking into those engaging eyes in that picture, she found herself clicking the button that said, more information. And she did an interview. The woman said, look, there's an 80% chance that you would never be a match. But we'd like to have you come out to Hershey and to take the battery of tests. One day after Thanksgiving, Cindy gets a call. You are the perfect match for Caitlin. Wow, what a God wink. One day in kindergarten, and she is giving her a kidney. Both of them made it through the surgeries with flying colors. But there was one more bonus God wink. In the process, the doctors told her that she had a rare medical condition called pelvic congestive disorder. And Cindy said, wow, I'd felt some cramping, but I had never had it checked out. Then they went on to tell her that the removal of the kidney to save Caitlin not only released any pain that she would have and the pressure that she would feel, but it would eliminate future surgery. Wow, more God winks.
I love God winks.
Oh, big time.
We got God winks every day, I think. We just have to open our eyes to see them.
You do.
Or maybe you have to wink to see them.
You do. It is.
We saw them over the weekend. Our whole family got together, and and we don't all get to be in one place at one time very often, so it was kind of special for us. And as it was raining the whole time in Minnesota, and we came outside, and there was the perfect rainbow, every color, just from start to finish, we could see the whole thing, and we knew right then, God winked.
Yeah.
I love rainbows.
Amen. It is nice when you're just kind of living your everyday life and just something pops up and you know that
That's a God thing.
It's a God thing. And exactly.
We saw 2, I think they were golden eagles while we were driving up to Newtown again, but it was like, wow. We just watched it. They were just gorgeous.
Very majestic. It just leaves you with something. Do you ever get those feelings, Lori? Like you just know God is there?
Absolutely.
100%. You know, my nephew had actually given a kidney too. So in Hershey, Pennsylvania, that's where they do a lot of these surgeries. And so it's nice to do that live donation. But you're a substitute teacher. Did you have a little thought on that?
Oh,
You meet so many nice kids, I'm imagining.
I love them all. I can't take them home, but I love them all. And I love subbing because you're in there for a day, or one time actually I started in October and ended up there till June. And I was like, that's a long-term sub. Or I did in Mandan for like 5 weeks for a math teacher. And you get to know those kids, they get to know you, and it's amazing. And I'm still in contact with a lot of my students, and even ones that I subbed with too, so get to know them pretty well.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Well, I hope you guys are having God winks. You know, just pay attention. Do you have a story, Lori?
No, I just have one thing before I go, and I just want to say, Amber, the young lady that I met.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for inspiring me to speak up. And I want you to know that your gut check is important. Continue to listen to that, and thank you for giving me the courage to do this.
Yeah. Thank you. And with that, we have to let you go today. Thanks, Lori, for joining us, and we'll be right back, or we'll see you next time on Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Just like you, I had problems sleeping. I tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. 15 years ago, I invented MyPillow. It took me 2 years to develop because I wanted to have everything you would ever want in a pillow. I made sure that you could adjust my patented fill so you could have the exact support you need as an individual regardless of your sleep position. I also wanted a pillow that would last, so I made MyPillow machine washable and dryable. I back MyPillow with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Not only that, I do all my own manufacturing in my home state of Minnesota.
I really like the fact that it was made in the USA. I think that USA products are a better quality product. I've tried a lot of other pillows and nothing's worked like MyPillow.
I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm going to pass the savings directly on to you. For example, you get my 6-piece towel sets, regular $109.99, now only $44.98, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
I used to think that sheets were just sheets. I got the Giza Dream sheets. They are the most comfortable sheets I've ever had.
The Go Anywhere pillow is so easy to just roll up and take anywhere I want to go.
The Go Anywhere pillow is really comfortable, so that's what I really like. It's nice and supportive, and it's nice and small.
The MyPillow topper, for the first time, has enabled me to have a cool night's sleep. I'm able to go to bed and just get rest.
That's 3 inches of wonderful that's in the MyPillow mattress topper. It's just like a firm cloud.
MyPillow helps me get a good night's sleep so I can do my job in the morning.
Go to MyPillow.com to get deep discounts, not just on my pillows, but so much more. For example, you get my 6-piece towel sets, regular $109.99, now only $44.98, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit My